Hello guys, welcome to Devlog Book channel. My name is Marcus and today we're gonna learn about matrix. One matrix, more than one, matrices. This is gonna be a playlist called The Jungle of Matrices. It's a funny name that I choose for it. So this is my background. It's George Washington crossing the Delaware River in 1776 during the American Revolutionary War. It represents a lot of the fight for freedom. So let's go. So I like to write, really enjoy it. So it's almost 50,000 words here, 80 pages, everything in English. Actually, English and a little bit of Greek. I am learning Greek as well. It's a very beautiful language. Each details of the alpha and omega. What is a matrix? A matrix is a mathematical structure. So here I created an example to show you what is a matrix. We often use an uppercase letter, in this case A, followed by the order of a matrix to represent how many lines and how many columns it will have. So it's a 3 by 3 matrix. And this is an example of each element of a matrix is. So we got A and the first number represents the row, and the number after the comma represents the column. So A1, comma 1, A1, comma 2, it's the line 1, column 2, A1, comma 3, line 1, column 3. This is a common representative of a matrix. And what more we have the square matrix. It's represented by a matrix who have the same number of columns and rows, the same order. This is a square matrix. It's very useful in linear algebra. This is the rectangular matrix. It can be rectangular horizontal or rectangular vertical. Rectangular, it does have a different number of rows and columns. As you can see here, we got 3 lines and 5 columns, and the second one 4 lines and 2 columns. So this we call a horizontal matrix because have more columns than rows, and vertical matrix have more rows than columns. We have the row matrix, just one row, and this is another example of a column matrix, just one column. And this is a irregular matrix, also recognized by ragged or jagged matrix. Is a different number of columns for each row. So here we have 3 rows, but each one of them have a different number of columns. The first row, 3 columns, the second row, 4 columns, and the last and third row, 2 columns. Square matrix play a fundamental role in linear algebra, and it's very useful in program concepts. And we often use matrix a lot of case, neural network and graph, and to artificial intelligence, and including your device. If you're watching this video right now, if you look at your screen in your device, each pixel of the screen, it's represented by the matrix. It's an RGB matrix. You have a color. So this is very important. We know how to manage the matrix. So this is an example that I did, the 3 way to represent a matrix in a computer, because this is just a mathematical concept. This is the program way to represent a matrix. So I'm going to share with you in my GitHub this code, source code, and this is how we use to represent a matrix. In this case, a square matrix, it's called a multidimensional array in just one bracket, if you see, and separated by comma here. So if I want to put another element here, 10 for example, the Visual Studio, we're gonna give me an arrow. This array must be at max 3 columns. So we don't have this possibility to create a jagged array here using just one bracket. This is how we traversal this matrix. We have 2 integers here, one for row, second for columns. And this is how we get a rows and a number of columns. And this is the traversal method called row rise. And we're gonna learn a little bit more about it up ahead. We got the first loop for the line and the second one for the columns. And this is a console line. Console right here, not JavaScript, C#, it's a man of languages. And this is a jagged array. It's almost like this first one, however, here we got 2 brackets. And we have to initialize it with a fixed number of rows. And it can be jagged, as you can see. It can have different number of columns for each row. This is another way to traversal it. And the last one is a list of lists. This is very interesting because it's dynamically, so you can change it. You add more rows or more columns during the process of the program, during the program is running. So it's very interesting. It's expensive in processing, memory. It's more expensive than the first approach. However, it's a good choice. And this is a for each loop. For each element in this list matrix, we got a variable, and for each element in this row, we're gonna console the element. And so let's gonna run it and see how it works. Just comment this part. And all right, so what do we got here? It's the representation of the 3 loops that I did. First one, to represent the matrix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This. The second one, the jagged. And the final, the list of matrix, and the list of lists. And so, what I'm gonna do here, it's create a function to give this to me. Because I don't want to do this again. Imagine yourself, you have to do 3 matrix, 4, 5, 10 matrix. It's very expensive to write this code once again. And there is a solid principle that say, do not repeat yourself. It's not a good choice to repeat your code. So what I did here was a function in another class, created a class called matrix switches. And this is a static class. Instead of it, I created a static method that return a list of lists called build matrix, that I pass the number of rows and the columns that I want. This is the algorithm. I make the first loop and the second one, adding the values here, and return this list of matrix. What I did so static because I don't want to initialize the class using the new operator. If I remove a static here and I go to my program class, it's gonna work? No, it's gonna be an error here. Because here in this scenario, I need to initialize this, something like object receive new class. So then I can use the object dot build matrix. It works. However, use new. It's very danger common because we have a design patterns called a singleton. It's not a good choice to put this new in everywhere because it can be can be some problems in the future. So instead of do new and all this such a thing, it's better use the static class here and static method. So then I can use the function without this initialization. So it's just to remove and put the number of the class dot number of functions. There is the number of rows for and the columns for square matrix that I want to show. And so we're going to learn the first traversal methods. In this video I will approach just one because it's very expensive to explanation everything, and the next videos I'm going to show how the column rise works, zigzag, spiral, and diagonal. So row rise is a function to traverse a matrix line by line, row by row. It's very simple. This is the algorithm and how it works. This is an image to show how it works. So each blue arrow here represent an internal loop interaction. If you take a look, it starts 1, 2, 3, 4. Just blue, the blue arrow. It represents the internal loop. We always use the I variable to represent the line and J to represent the column. It's very useful in mathematics and computer skills. It's used the I and J to represent row and column. Do not forget this. We're gonna use a lot. And after come to the final, look at this 4. For each column, go ahead. So 1, 2, 3, okay, 4 is the last. Go to the next line. So it get out from this loop and go to the next I interaction. So it's represented by red arrow here. Next line. 5, 6, 7, 8, again and again until the last element of a matrix. This is the mind and the kernel of traversal methods. It's more important and we have to know how it works. And let's run the application. Let's see if this is gonna work. I have got a function to create a matrix, square matrix, 4 lines and 4 columns, and this variable. And then I'm gonna call this function, passing this variable. This function gonna show in the console. So let's see if this gonna works. Alright, it's done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, all elements of this square matrix. It's shown here. So this is the first video, guys. I hope you enjoy it. And the next one, we're gonna learn about column, zigzag, spiral, diagonal, and we're gonna separate this, all of it, in separated classes here as well. It's better than just do this same thing in just one file. It's gonna be grow, and gonna be a huge file here. It's better separated to make things organizing. And this is it. I hope you enjoy. See you in the next video in the series playlist, The Jungle of Matrix. This is it. Thank you very much. Let's give it our best shot.